technically it wasn't work. If you don't get paid for it, it's not work. That's what Joe says. It's all hobby time. You're not getting paid for it, therefore you're just having fun. Okay. I love how black and white she can be about certain things. Like that. Good morning, everybody. I got in trouble again last night because I'd had a bowl of chips as a mid-evening snack, which is a horrendous mistake, by the way. Don't do that. I put the bowl on the bench instead of putting it in the dishwasher. So, sure enough, she's doing her going to bed cleaning up routine. Out comes the, you really have an aversion to putting things in the dishwasher, don't you? Conversation. And I'm like, this would be about as big as your aversion to putting used earbuds and empty toilet rolls in the bin from the bathroom when you finished with them, I suppose. Guess who won that argument?
You silly, silly man.
Yeah. My excuse was that the bowl was only on the bench about 10 minutes. The other stuff was in the bathroom days. So apparently that's okay.
But of course.
Mm-hmm. So welcome all to Saturday the 27th of August. This auspicious day.
Do tell why.
Today is digging trench day. Technically, yesterday was digging trench day. Today is filling trench day and reshaping dirt day. I finally got tired of the mud bath in the backyard, so there's some plastic paver tile sitting out there in boxes and 2 cubic metres of Tuscan topping sitting out on the nature strip, and a whacker turning up in a couple of hours.
Sounds like fun.
There are many definitions of that word.
Yes, there are.
Yes. So, in the meantime, we will do something that is actually fun. And we'll talk about 1879 British, which is what we did last week. And I'll show this one because googly eyes. They are beautiful figures.
Yeah, I find it hard to disagree, so I won't.
Come on. Focus. The camera's about as up to it this morning as I am. So there's
lovely shot of your fingernails.
They are clean-ish, sort of. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Compared to what they looked like at the end of yesterday, they're clean. It's very foggy this morning. I've just noticed. That's possibly the first time I've raised my eyes to the horizon since I staggered out of bed. So 2 choices for today. There's this guy. And his rider. And another unit of the British.
Oh, jeez.
I think I'll start with the British because they're kind of already started, kind of. I was watching the Australian Armour and Artillery Museum's open day video late last night. It was the first day of that thing. It's a 3-day event that's running this weekend. So I'm like, oh well, might as well paint something while I'm doing that.
Fair enough.
They have a running panther.
I do recall you saying that once.
Only once.
Oh, it might have been more than one, but you know.
Might have been once an hour. And the story goes, it's got its original engine.
Kind of an important thing to have.
Well, they were saying that they've got a Mark IV, Panzer Mark IV up there that didn't have an engine in it when they got it. So they had to put an engine in it. And Maybach HL230s are impossible to get, having not been made for 80 years and lots of them with holes in them or having been blown up. So they used an engine and drivetrain out of an FV432, I think they said, just so that it'll run reliably.
I thought for a second you were going to say that they use the engine and drivetrain out of a Ford F-150, and I'm like, what?
No. I'm not sure even an F-150's drivetrain would cope with a 20-something ton tank.
No. Close run thing, though.
Just bolt more turbos onto it, it'll be fine. But it got me thinking that there are so many museums around the world now that are trying to get, their armour collections mobile, so people will come and visit and ride in them and whatnot. Following on, I think,
And lots of money.
from Bovington's example. Well, there's a company, I think they're in the UK, they do Rolls-Royce Merlin rebuilds. So they make parts for Rolls-Royce Merlins and refurb them, rebuild them. This is to keep things like Mustangs and Spitfires flying.
Yeah.
There must be just about a critical mass there for somebody to remanufacture parts for these Maybach engines. So if you've got a spare $1 billion or so you want to invest in making reproduction German Second World War engines, you'll probably walk away with a couple of million.
Hey, Elon. Hey, Elon, are you out there listening?
No, he'll just make them all electric and fire them at Mars.
Well, you know, the way historical revisionism is going, that'll be what actually happens.
How did we fight the Barzoomians? We shot tanks at them. Oh dear, oh dear. Of course, you take that whole thing to its logical conclusion, and those tanks will be manned by schoolgirls.
Yeah, been there, seen that. Desperately waiting on all of the movie finales to release before I go back and watch them again.
Right. Yeah, no, I got another friend who really, really loves it. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why.
Acceptable breaks from reality.
Yeah.
That's why you couldn't, because the breaks from reality aren't acceptable.
Right.
I mean, it is a pretty ridiculous show.
It's certainly catering for a particular market, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Anyhow, there's a segue into something else that is slightly more acceptable. I got an early Christmas gift.
Already? Wow.
Already, yeah. Because it either had to be labelled a late birthday present or an early Christmas present. I think she decided it was an early Christmas present to get her out of having to spend any more money on me for the rest of the year, which is a cunning ploy. and fair play. So she got me the collected works of Hayao Miyazaki, which is an 11-disc box set or something like that. Anyhow, I was exceptionally pleased with that. So we have to, when we're done watching Top Gun Maverick, which is being spread over many evenings at dinner, I have to start watching some of those.
Fair enough.
I
know a lot of people really like his work. It's not for me, but there you have it.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about it I really enjoy. Anyhow.
Yeah, it does appeal to a lot of people, and I don't begrudge anyone for liking it. It's just not for me.
Oh, yeah. Part of it is I watched it with my kids, so, there's...
Yeah, gotcha. Whereas when I was a kid, the first anime I was ever exposed to was Akira. I was 9 or 10 years old.
Those damaging experiences.
Yeah, I took a little while to get through the movie the first time. Being only 9 or 10 years old, I made it most of the way through.
Yeah.
Might have even been younger. My mum was still around at the time, so maybe he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still had adults only on the video slip, so
yeah.
That's a long defunct Australian rating guide for international viewers. I think it went out in the early 90s.
Yeah. The fact that it was a VHS cover probably should give it away.
Well, VHS is still around up until 2000s.
Yeah.
Early 2000s.
It's 20 years, Matty.
Yeah, I know. We're getting old.
Getting? Good grief. I remember going to the cinema to see Tetsuo 2, which I think was Legend of the Body Hammer or something Body Hammer. That is some messed up stuff.
Oh, yeah. Haven't seen this one.
It's live action, as I recall. And there was another one, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, Legend of the Overfiend.
Yeah, I never saw it. But I am well and truly aware of it from the same video store that, gave Akira to an 8, 9, 10-year-old.
Yeah, right.
That one had an R rating on it, so my parents weren't that silly.
Yeah, it
like
was...
AO was okay for an 8-year-old,
right,
but
okay.
not
R.
R18.
I think that one was just tentacle porn at the end of the day.
Yeah, pretty much. That one came in 3 parts as I recall.
Yes. Possibly.
I always remember it was right next to the shelf, on the shelf, Star Trek Voyager, which
Okay.
we watched as a family on VHS. Yeah. But yeah, you had all of Star Trek Voyager, and then you had
Legend of the
Legend
Earth.
of the Overfiend right next to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
As a viewing progression, perhaps not.
No.
No. Clearly, I've had no desire to go back and watch it again. So, what have you been painting?
My painting has been something of a disaster this week. Well, the latter half of this week.
Do go on.
Last time I really picked up a brush was Wednesday.
Right.
Thursday I was going to, but got distracted into doing something.
Right.
And then Friday I spent recovering from the consequences of doing something on Thursday.
Right.
I've got a unit of Dark Elf Crossbowmen, which are I sprayed them spray varnish this morning
Yeah. Okay.
in preparation for a dose of the secret sauce.
Nice.
So they may be finished later. They may be finished later today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure if that Shadowrun game is on today. I think it is. So
Right.
I might duck out in 40 minutes or so.
Well, that's
I'd
sort
kind
of.
of forgotten about it.
Yeah. Right. I'll just finish up when you're gone then, because like I have a ridiculous amount of work to do, and we've only got a limited hire time on
Yeah,
the ground whacker. So
fair enough. I guess it'll be another short episode this week.
yes, and the whole premise of
That experiment
that
doesn't seem to
experiment,
have worked.
no, I think it makes no damn difference. I think somebody's posted a link somewhere to that video, and it's gone, semi-viral, and that's it.
Yeah, that was probably it.
Hmm. And you saw the unboxing of the Interceptor by the Texas Gaming Group in the US?
I think I reposted it a few places.
I think you did.
It's a good looking game.
It is, and there were some very complimentary things said. So there was some in-depth discussion about that in yesterday's Etherstream weekly meeting.
Cool.
Yeah. How to get more of that to happen. Such a small company. So few people and so much to do.
Yep.
Oh, look, it must be the boss man. For he's appointing. Willow's decided that kicking the door's the best thing to be doing. And whining.
I can hear the whining.
Hmm.
Not so much the door kicking.
Well, that's just the thump that punctuates the start and the end of the whining. she's a funny little thing. I stacked it. I went to Bunnings last night to get some scoria to go around this ag pipe. I ended up getting 12 bags of the stuff. Probably would have been cheaper just to have bought some along with the Tuscan toppings. But anyhow, you make these mistakes. But I carried them from the back of the car around to the back of the house under the alfresco area and just stacked them next to the plastic pavers. She goes out last night for the toilet before bed, and all of a sudden there's something strange in her world. You know, there's these lumps of stuff, and she just goes batshit at it. And it's like, it's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere. And she doesn't care because it's strange, because it's unusual. It just triggers her.
The doggy equivalent of Thingo. Oh shit, my brain's broken.
We might need to dig into that and unpack that statement to make some sense of it. The doggy equivalent of
Asperger's syndrome.
Okay.
Took me a minute. Got there in the end. That's not one of the new reds, is it?
No, it's Blood Angels Red.
Thought so.
So, I failed another resistance roll a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's always been a thing in my life about magazines that come out in weekly parts or monthly parts.
Yeah.
Things like that. They've always been around as long as I can remember. When I was very, very young, there was one which was just called Car or The Car or something like that. And every week we were down at the newsagent. My dad would be collecting issues of it. He gave them to me. But there was some really, really, really good stuff in it. So I've kind of been semi-addicted to that stuff ever since. And, you know, we've had this discussion before that I had the whole of the Lord of the Rings one, a complete collection. Yep. And when my marriage went the way that my marriage went, I had to sell it off. Well, I didn't, but I chose to sell it off to get some cash.
Living capital.
Yes. Funds. And so I do deeply regret that, to the point where I've started collecting those Lord of the Rings miniatures again, which is bad. But anyhow, they've got a new one out. And this one's a Warhammer 40k one. And it's, by the time you're finished, you've spent $1,500, $1,600 or something like that, which is pretty typical for an 80 magazine run. And you end up with a Marine army and a Necron army, plus some tools and a bunch of paints and things like that. And this has been out in Europe for a long time. Like, they're up to issue 50 or something like that. So, you know, they're a year ahead, or I think it's actually issue 57 or 58. So they're more than a year ahead. Anyhow, people have done the costings for it, and they've come back and they've said, if you get the whole thing what you end up with versus retail price of the figures that you could buy off the shelf and everything like that. It's comparable to, I think it was a 20% discount or something like that. So it's, it's not bad. Anyhow, so I signed up for a subscription of that. The first lot rolled in the door yesterday. And it was because we were talking about paints. The first reissue comes with 2 paints. And the first one of which is a McCrag Blue, which, surprisingly, I don't have. And the next one was this really interesting colour, which is this Rune Lord Brass.
Shiny.
And I haven't seen this. Obviously, I haven't been paying attention because it's got to have been around a long time. But that's actually a really interesting colour. It's got a lot of red in it. And a lot of brass and some copper. So it's a really interesting colour. And I didn't have that either. So it's like, win.
Yeah, fair enough.
And a brush, which actually looks like a half decent brush. The tip's not amazing, but it just says Citadel Starter Brush. So there's another one that I can sacrifice to the great gods of some destructive brush technique or another without having to worry too much about it. So and I think so far there's one Marine leader of some description, captain or lieutenant or something like that, and a Necron leader, and 3 Necron troopers and 3 Marine thingies. I haven't bothered reading what they are yet. So yeah, part works, part magazine parts. Like, I don't know, they were very heavily advertising something a couple of years ago. Build the Bismarck in 1/200. Week by week.
One of those ones that never finished its run.
Oh, yeah. You just imagine what that'd be like.
It happened to me with my first and only of that sort.
Right. It wasn't cost effective for them to continue it, so they stopped.
Yeah.
Great. That's not a good experience.
Oh well. Stuff happens.
See, I figured that if this all goes pear-shaped and they don't finish the magazine run, which seems unlikely because they're the majority of the way through it in England. So even if they do, I can just buy the rest.
Yeah.
Although I had already started collecting Necrons, but I'd sworn off Space Marines. I'm not real keen on Space Marines, so what on earth possessed me to get Space Marines? I don't know.
G'day, Kle. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, not too bad.
You survived.
Oh, yeah, only just. Not to be part of their report out yesterday either.
You did?
Yeah.
Nice.
I just couldn't be. I wasn't enthused for it.
Nicely diplomatically put. You still had to attend it, presumably.
I attended it, yeah, and I did answer some questions, but I didn't have to do. I actually really hate that format.
Yeah.
I think it's just a little bit Bollywood.
Oh yeah. There's a fair bit of rah-rah involved, isn't there?
Yeah.
Have you ever been through a Kaizen, Matty?
No, don't think so.
Okay. So this is the concept, and I don't know whether it was started by Toyota, but it is certainly heavily promoted by Toyota, where it's this constant improvement thing. So if somebody comes across a problem, usually on a production line, they stop the production line and they go and get everybody that they need to solve the problem, and they solve the problem on the spot, and they implement the change so that the change is a permanent change. Then they turn the line back on and they continue on, with the objective being that everything that comes off the line is a saleable item, as in it doesn't go through that final QA check and get rejected. That's the premise, right? So those corporate companies that have decided that the Toyota production system is the production system for them and they're going to emulate that, tend to take that Kaizen or continuous improvement hammer and go and hit everything with it. And that's what Kle just had to suffer through for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Fun.
8 hours, 8-hour meeting every day.
For 3 days.
I find meetings to be highly unproductive at the best of times.
Yeah. Well, you can multiply that by a factor of
24.
Yeah. So I begged out of these ones. Well, I didn't beg out of these ones. I actually absolutely refused, because there was a week-long one of these a couple of months ago that I got myself into trouble in. And there was a resulting formal complaint and all sorts of real ugliness. So I just went, I'm not doing it. Sorry.
Tell you what, though, it was much nicer having Michael in as a facilitator over Kelly.
Yeah. Why is that?
I found Kelly's personality to be quite abrasive.
Yeah, right.
Not much of a facilitator.
Yeah.
And I found Michael's personality to be much more in that vein, even when he's trying to get people to giddy up and get a move along.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all right. All I could tell you that it was a much more pleasant experience because I wasn't there. And I don't care.
No, man, you were lucky to sit those ones out. What you painting? Other than that dragon, what's this other stuff?
1879 British.
My God, they're 15 mil.
Yeah, they're 18.
Wow.
He really doesn't want to focus on that.
Yep, fair call.
So these are the ones I did last week. Oh. Still having trouble with that matte varnish. They're not as bad as they were. So this will be the 4th unit of them I've got, which is enough for a basic game.
Yeah, cool.
I started talking about doing the basic rules for it in the same vein that we did the basic rules for Demon World. The decision yesterday.
So you're going to have a crack.
Hey, sorry?
So you're going to have a crack at the game?
Well, it's effectively the same game. It's just a different figure mix and a different weapon mix. But the same core mechanics work.
Yeah.
So it's about producing a booklet that people can use as a set of game rolls. It's been shuffled back in the order a little bit. There's a couple of other things going on that need to be sorted out first.
Yeah. I'm back on Les Rats.
Oh, the rats.
I tucked 5 in the cabinet over the last week.
Oh, that's an effective use of Kaizen time.
No, actually, I didn't do any of this.
Didn't you?
Let's say Thursday, Friday. Nah, man, I was too stuffed.
Yeah, right.
School lunches and
Oh boy.
sort of stuff. But earlier in the week and on the weekend, I did tuck 5 little rats in the cupboard, and I'm working on 4 weapons teams.
Are they three rat teams?
2 rat teams.
2 rat teams. Okay.
They're the warp fire throwers from Island of Blood.
Right.
I've got 4 sets of Island of Blood, so I have 4 warp fire throwers.
I tried to get a set of that and couldn't. So.
Really? Of Island of Blood?
Yeah.
It goes for quite a lot now.
Yes. Maybe I should have predicated that with I tried to get a set of Island of Blood that wasn't going to cost me 3 kidneys.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Right. Yeah, well, I picked in that set of Skaven, he had his original old metal Skaven army.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had his plague rats, along with all of that stuff, and all the war machines and then 4 copies of Island of Blood on top of everything else in there. So that's why I got so many rats.
Yep. It's actually something I'd like to do for Demon World.
What's that?
Rats.
Rats I would be well on board with rats in Demon World.
Oh. Giant rats.
Yeah. You know something else I've been considering too? Ninja Dwarves.
Ninja Dwarves.
Yeah, you can get it. There's a whole line of, I think they're Ninja Dwarves. Samurai Dwarves. They're Samurai Dwarves, sorry.
Yeah, well.
But close enough, there'll be ninjas in there.
Yeah. We've already got Samurai, haven't we, Matty?
Yeah, Samurai Elves for Demon World.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
They're what I'm working on.
All the Dark Elves are all Samurai.
All Dark Elves. Yeah.
It's a really weird mix that I'm painting them up as Sudanese.
Sudanese Samurai Dark Elves.
Yeah.
It works, as far as I'm concerned. I love the look
of it. Yeah, well, they got to be called dark for some reason.
That's
and
right.
I figure it's just stupid if it's, because they're evil. Well, all elves are evil, so, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, that is, that's my understanding of the revised setting. All elves are evil. They're all bastards.
They're not evil, but they're not good. No one is intrinsically good. No one is intrinsically evil. They're just doing what they do to get by. Do they do evil things? Yes, they do. Do they do good things? Sometimes. Welcome to feudal or medieval life.
Yeah, but you know that, and I know that, but the world constantly rechanges their definitions of things.
Yep.
Either of you guys hear of Kel Richards?
Nope.
No? Well, that's a shame. He's an Australian journalist who reports mostly on the Australian English language.
Right.
definitions and history of words, etymology, stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He does a radio show, couple of radio shows every week, and has a bunch of books and columns and all sorts of shit going on.
Right.
He's a really interesting read and an entertaining speaker. And I think you'd enjoy him.
Yeah, I find that stuff quite interesting, actually, where they come from and their meaning and how it's changed over time. And
Yeah.
Ozwords.com.au, OZ.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Amusing things like the River Avon. Well, Avon apparently was the Saxon word for river, so what we've got here is the River.
Mm.
And apparently there are 7 of them in the UK. Oh, I haven't fact checked that, but yeah, the etymology of words. So yeah, rats, lizard men.
oh yeah,
We've already got the lizard men. You've got some, haven't you, Matty?
I've got 30 of them.
30 of
oh,
them.
wizard men, excellent.
They're
What's their
kind of
backstory?
Aztec-y sort of theme. Sort
Oh, yeah.
of. Like, just
That's
in the
not
armour.
too dissimilar to the old slan, anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, that's absolutely yes. Yep. The lizardmen from GW were all South American / Aztec / Inca. It was a blend. It wasn't one
The
thing.
original ones, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how long they carried that on for.
a long time. All the
They,
stuff I've got's exactly the same iconology,
right.
and that's all plastics. So. You must have missed this conversation, Clee, because like Matty and I had this conversation a couple of months ago about the fact that wind Ross up to the point where I can produce a kangaroo army with wombat shock troops and everything. And the theme behind those is going to be stubbies and wife beaters.
Straight out of like foot rot flat style.
Yeah. Foot rot flats is kind of New Zealand, but never mind.
I know, but they've got that. He's got that
Yeah.
wife beater style, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Blue signets and shorts and whatever.
Yeah.
Are they going to have sandals, Matty, do you think?
No.
Blundstones.
And bunnies.
Blundstones.
The only thing that you could put on their feet is something with, like, spikes for kicking.
Yeah, fair enough. So, footy boots.
Yeah, footy boots.
The 7 sprig kick. Looks like the whacker's here. Fun. Have you confirmed that game yet, Matty?
Well, it looks like Max has shown up for it, so I imagine it's going on.
There you go. How do we know the game is on? Max has turned up.
Kind of hard to have a game without a GM.
This is true. But not knowing whether the GM's going to turn up or not, that's a bit stiff.
I must admit I've put myself in that position once recently,
Yeah.
and I wasn't happy with myself for it.
Yeah, you sorted it out.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah, right. So what do you got on for the weekend, Kle? Much to do?
Nothing.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
Christ.
Bliss.
Just nothing. Clean the bathroom ceiling.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Was
Painting rats.
Was there an accident of some kind, or is that just an
No, just fucking mold, man.
mold? Yeah.
Just left over from the wet season.
Yeah. Mold.
Getting everything ready for the next lot of onslaught of humidity.
Just get it all cleaned in time for the next lot.
Yep.
How's the pool going? Getting any use?
Yeah. I was in there the other week.
Nice.
It's been a bit of a cold snap the last week or so, but before that it was pretty good.
Matty hasn't stopped complaining about being cold, so you guys probably don't agree on what cold is.
It's been cold the last week.
I have spent a lot of this last week wrapped up in an electric blanket.
Yeah, and I think half of Brisbane has.
So it dropped
been
under 10
cold.
degrees.
Under 15.
Yeah, right.
Enough that it's a problem.
Yeah. We've got 7 blanket equivalents of doona on the bed, and I've got my weighted blanket on top of that. And last night I was just way too hot.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
The expected overnight low didn't happen, so I was just about ready to roll over and tell Joe to turn the air conditioner on at one point. It's like the modern solution to things. Instead of taking some of the blankets, I've taken the doona off to turn the aircon on. Takes a while to paint the jackets. It's the hardest job on these guys.
Yeah. How much of a force of them have you got now?
So this is the 4th unit, so that'll be 48 painted.
Yep.
2 units with the miasma mask and 2 units without. I actually kind of prefer the units with the miasma mask. I don't know why. It's a little bit more, I don't know, alien, alternate worlds or something.
That was what I was about to say. It's a little more exotic.
Yeah, exotic. That's a good word. Thank you.
A bit more steampunky.
Yeah.
Whereas the regular ones, they're just,
They
they could come from any old range of 18mm British.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say that they do, and they're good, but,
They're certainly beautiful figures. They're very characterful. They've got a lot of detail on them.
So it's the same sort. Just saying.
Yeah, haven't got there yet, but definitely will because I've got to build an op for. So and I'm going to go for the Arbites, I think. Do you call them Arbites or do you call them Arbiters?
Ard. A-R-D. ARB.
Ardites.
Ardites.
Shows how much
Which
attention
makes
I've been
sense.
paying.
They're the level of humans above zombies.
Right.
Then you've got your Mushkanites.
Right.
Above them, they're your high caste sorts of guys
Okay.
with better gear.
Right.
And below the zombies are the skeletons. It's a really interesting world.
There's
The
the
1879 one.
they're the zombies that the skin fell off.
Yeah, they've
Right.
been reused so much. Zombies are a bit fresher.
I did not realise how that worked. So thank you. That's very good info.
Well, that's my understanding and interpretation.
Well, that's
Not
okay.
necessarily where things are in the books, maybe.
It's possible.
I know that things have changed in between the release of the original war game rulebook and the current RPG setting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The the southern mountain ranges basically disappeared.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very Tolkien-esque.
Well, I think it's the only published map up until the last couple of weeks was in that original war game rulebook.
Right.
And it had two very distinct mountain ranges to the north and south of Fort Alice. And, they're decent-sized mountain ranges.
You've based your storytelling on that, haven't you?
I have based my storytelling on that map. There's a reason why we're talking about flying over mountains and shit. And I had to fill in some of the blanks to make the train lines actually run. And
Yep.
Brad solved the problem by getting rid of, half of the mountain range.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find the map. The Empire needs you. Can't find it. Have you got the army unit books?
I thought I've got the Samsung one. I don't have the British one.
Some of the things I brought back from you with Gen Con. Oh, can't find a map.
Well, maybe it's my mistake then, but...
Oh, I'm only flicking. Bunch of unit descriptions. That's about it. Some very nice illustrations for the scenarios. Gonna have to step my game up for that. I'm lazy. I just paint figures and then take photos.
I thought that worked quite well, to be honest.
Yeah, so did I. Because I can paint figures. Not much a drawing. I'll have a better go through them later. But
You'll have to get some more giant fleas out of the Demon World range, so you can recreate the Battle of New Wigan.
Right.
Giant flea infestation in a British town.
Right.
And in come the British with the flamethrowers to sort out the problem.
Nice. There are no flamethrower troops, though, are there? I haven't seen any.
Well, get out the party.
Yes. Dig out the green stuff.
Back in a minute.
Yeah. See, I find this really unhappy.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I don't want to dig into that.
I think I just saw the map in there while you were flipping pages. It seems to be towards the back.
It's just units now.
Some nice art.
Yeah. There's also a couple of pictures that are just like, like that style there. It's like radically different from anything else.
Mm. Well, that's what happens when you get a whole bunch of different artists.
Yeah, but at some point, what I was told is at some point you have to settle on a style, and you have to tell the artist that that's the style that you want. It's like everything else, trying to do an awful lot with very few people.
Yeah, yeah.
What time do you have to disappear?
Oh, probably any minute soon.
Right.
I know it's not really your thing, but the Earth Dawn 4 player's guide and have got this one artist in there that's just dramatically different from everyone else.
Yeah.
Those ones tend to stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. I didn't grab the Earth Dawn books. I thought I was being cheeky enough grabbing all the 1879s. Actually, I didn't grab the RPG books for that either, just the all game books.
Yeah, fair enough.
I figured I could justify that for R&D, and I'd be pushing my luck if I got all the RPG stuff.
Can you give us Highlanders?
Highlanders?
Yeah, I was really disappointed to find that there's no Highland troops in the British Expeditionary Force in canon.
Right. Absolutely, we can. We'll talk Brad into that. You ended up getting some from a different range, didn't you?
Those were my very first minis since I started painting again. They're the Eureka Games Crimean War ones.
Right. Eureka
Eureka minis.
in Australia, or
Yeah, the Australia one.
okay, because there is a Eureka in the UK too. I think.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not sure whether they're affiliated or not. Okay, so Crimean War, 15mm Highlanders. Get on to Mr. Nick Robson and sort some of those out.
Yeah, I was thinking of getting myself some more as well. Like, they were my first ones, and I feel I've gotten a bit better since then. I'd like to have another go at them, but I don't want to destroy what I've already done.
No. Haven't seen Nick in a while, so trying to remember what I got off him last time. Oh, Italians. Italians. Chicken heads. Sorry, Bersaglieri.
I was just thinking of do androids dream of electric sheep? Chicken head being a slur.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I kind of think is pretty funny for Italians.
Do you know of what I refer to?
No, but I could Google it, I suppose.
So
something to do with their helmets.
Their helmets have black feather plumes. And it's a much celebrated thing. It's a real honour to be a part of one of those units and to wear that helmet and all that kind of stuff. And you take a step back from it and you look at it from the outside and you go, you guys look fucking ridiculous.
Okay, I think I've got to run. Need to put the kettle on, etc.
Run away. Enjoy your session.
God, I barely remember where we're up to.
Just don't do any drills with dragons.
No.
Thanks, Matty.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you soon, if not next week.
Yeah.
If not next week, then soon.
Then soon.
Yeah, my brain's broke.
See you, man.
See you.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Bye.
So, were there any positive takeaways from that 3 days of torture?
No hidden work.
Oh. How did it take 3 days to figure that out?
I don't know. No, it didn't take 3 days to figure that out. I think on the Wednesday when we reconvened, I was recounting a conversation with you when we were going over globs again.
Yeah.
And I said, basically the 2 points you said was no hidden work, single process for everything.
Yeah.
And they adopted the no hidden work as their motto.
Right. But we've now got multiple processes.
No, one process.
Right.
Everything just goes through one process now. We just, it's a way of funneling the work and, knowing the impact and all that sort of stuff, which I think is good.
Yeah, well, okay. So there is a positive.
Yeah, they seem a little bit reluctant to work like a team, though, which I thought was strange.
Yeah.
Very reluctant to work like a team.
They're all individuals.
All individuals.
Gotta get out, man. Gotta get out.
So.
Yeah,
it's strange. I thought they'd start to work like a team, considering they're called a team. But they're a team of individuals.
Yeah.
So.
Another. Hang on. Had another very quiet dummy spit to myself yesterday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
we've been doing this MDS2 or MDS squared thing. Somebody in the US somewhere has asked for an updated MDS form. So they wanted it for version 7. Well, we've got one for 6. So there was this hoo-ha about, oh, we need to do this in a real hurry and it needs to happen as a part of the MS 6.1 release, blah, 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 blah. And there was this kind of panic about it because it took so damn long to do for 6. They expected it to take an inordinate amount of time for 7. And I'm like, why? Because we haven't done anything. We haven't materially changed the security posture of the product at all. You know, if you
exactly. So you can just reprint,
just
update it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just it's a minor update. We'll produce a new document because we have to leave the 6.1 current. It's a minor update. We'll move on. Anyhow, so that gets done. Like, it took Nick and I 10 minutes to go through and update it, and it's like,
Fuck.
so that all gets done. It's in DocuSign yesterday.
Yeah.
And our favourite.
Oh, not a partner.
No, Brad.
Stay.
Comes in because you know it's in DocuSign. Nick signed it. I've signed it. Other people have signed it. And he wanders in and goes, I didn't really pay attention to this before, but I've actually been through the whole thing. There's a couple of things that I'm really uncomfortable with. And I'm like, you fuck. You've had a week and a half to do this, and you choose to do it now. And it's like, it's not even the fact that he wants to get a document right that really sticks in my craw. It's that he can wave his willy around and force people to do rework to get a document right.
He was lazy or not paying a fucking attention. And
he wasn't paying attention, but it's like, we can't do that to get the software right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What's
his
the
dick's obviously bigger.
What's the point of the exercise here? Are we producing software or are we producing documents? And that's
we're producing a place where people can throw their wang about.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm so frustrated by him and by the organisation in general. You know, we're never ever going to be in a position where we're going to be able to produce software in a continuous manner because you've got these people that just don't care. You know, they've got their little, oh, I just want to be able to do my job. And it's like, you know, the whole company motto is the best team wins, except nobody in the organisation actually knows what a team is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just a little bit over it.
Yeah, man.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. I hear you.
Did you get anywhere with that barcodey stuff?
I did. I saw. I couldn't work it out from the REST endpoint. And then I went and looked at the code and went, oh, right, I got it.
Yeah.
The get call's creating the barcodes.
It should extract the barcode. It should
Sorry,
extract.
it's not. Yes, it's creating the reagents.
Yeah, it should extract the UPIs from the barcodes and create the reagents. Yeah.
Yeah. So. And so I did create one, and I couldn't work out how to use that spreadsheet, to be honest.
Oh, really?
When
you just open it, and there's a couple filled in for you. You just grab the barcodes out of them.
Yeah. So I did that.
Yeah.
And on a Bond one, the one that was you'd probably use last, Bond AP Refine or something.
Yeah.
But I couldn't work out how I would generate more.
Do you need more?
No, didn't. I
No.
just couldn't work anything out in there. So
Yeah.
I just copied the ones that were already there.
Yeah. Well,
And I
that's all I
tried
do.
the prime ones and they didn't work. And I figured it just must be out of date for the BDD.
Right. That's annoying.
But that's fine for the
Well,
moment.
Saul is the god of that spreadsheet, so the other person that would know it very well would be Shrini.
Oh yeah, I'll ask him which prime ones are current.
Yeah. He'll be able to help you.
Oh yeah, I got a couple of those Bond AP
Yeah, right.
ones registered. I thought I might update the REST endpoint to take a. I suppose we're never going to need it though. There's no point.
Yeah, you can well and truly see I was on path of least resistance.
Yeah, well, that's it. I was like, oh, I should update this so that you can use the REST endpoints to properly do it, and it makes sense. And then I was like, oh, it's just a development thing at the moment. Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Like in the real lab
Thing you wouldn't just.
management, those APIs would be there. They would, so we would need to do them.
Oh, you register barcodes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. In that case, then I might as well just convert it over. I'll start little things like that where it doesn't take much time. I might as well just flesh them out so that when people come along, they know what's going on. I've started updating the getting started text as well. So
Yeah.
when people jump on board, they know how to get started.
Yeah.
What the steps are. And
Yeah. Because I was trying to blow through that stuff as fast as possible, so just to get me to the point where I could
prove it. Yeah.
prove it. So,
Yep.
Well, that's the idea, right? So you kick in the door, somebody else comes behind you and
Cleans it up.
So.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it. So yeah, I'll balance it off all of that stuff I was just talking about there with also getting that WCF stuff worked. I remember there was a few issues with the way the code was structured last time. So
Yeah, righto. Oh, that's right. Because I ripped it all out of the main service and chucked it into instrument control. So
I think what I had issues with, there was something I could get the connection. Maybe it was the way the bulks were working last time. I couldn't work that out.
Yeah. Well, that's all radically changed. So
yeah, the whole lot's changed. So now I'll start fresh. And that's why I was playing around with how do I get these bulks registered, how do I get this connected, and so they can see how the system's.
Well, that's a wow. I mean, that's a complicated thing because it's pulling those profiles out of the BDD. So and I think it's even doing a request for that profile now. It's not just sending it. I can't remember. It might just send them all.
No, maybe there was a request there.
I think
can't
there is
remember now. I did look at a few of those adapters, and
I think it is a get me the default bulk profile for this instrument type. I think I did do it that way. I don't know. It's a blur.
you got much on for the weekend?
Yeah, man. Digging. Yeah, the backyard's a swamp, so, and I've mentioned this a few times, the backyard's a swamp, so I've cut an ag drain, so the ag pipe's lying in it at the moment, and I've got the bags of scoria to go round it, and then when that's done, I'm reprofiling between the alfresco and the workshop, and I've got those plastic paver tiles to go down. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they look like a honeycomb sort of a thing. They're about 40 mil
I
high,
think I know. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
and you fill them in with. Well, we've got Tuscan topping, so fill them in with Tuscan topping. You go over the top of them by about a centimetre.
Yep.
And then you compact it all in, so you end up with a really hard surface that doesn't move around.
Yep. And drains. Yep.
And drains and whatever. So that's my weekend, is hard labour.
Sounds great.
Well, it's got to be better than the dog coming in and putting mud on literally everything. And you can't. What I discovered yesterday, cutting the ag drain, was that because we're on clay, right? We're on that
Yep.
reddy brown clay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's about 2 inches of topsoil, and the water can't get into the clay, so it just sits in the topsoil. And so the topsoil is just turned to mush, mud, whatever, and it's sitting on what is effectively dry clay below it. So by providing an ag channel, the water that's coming out of that particular garden bed has got somewhere to go and won't stay in the surface.
Yeah, that'll help.
The lawns the grass is a disaster. Like the whole yard is so soft and squishy and squidgy, and so getting that water out of that surface layer will mean that that you can actually walk on the damn thing, and when the dog's running backwards and forwards chasing birds, she's churning it up.
Yeah. Yeah, the drainage will help.
Yeah. So that's the plan anyway. Let's see how well that goes. Tweaked my shoulder yesterday, so today's going to be entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah, man, I have heavy work that I'm not doing because my shoulder's just not up for it.
Yeah. And what, cleaning the bathroom ceiling is considered easy work?
No, it's not, but it needs to be done.
Oh, yeah. I remember moving into a flat down in Moorabbin and moved in there, and the paint on the walls was mouldy, and the bathroom ceiling, particularly above the shower, the bathroom ceiling was black.
Oh, yeah, right.
So, took a bit of bleach and some bloody hard work to clean all that up.
Get it clean, yeah.
Didn't come back, which was interesting.
All right.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I think this is left over from using the shower and really horrible humidity at the start of the year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys had it super bad.
For months.
Yeah. Well, 7 meters of water in your backyard.
Yeah, it tends to make things a bit humid.
Still, looking at it on the positive side, you've got a backyard with the capacity to have 7 meters of water in it.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It is.
Someone said the other day that we've had 2.5 meters of rain this year already.
Yeah. That's just astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah.
2.5 meters of rain.
Yeah. Well, La Nina.
Yep. That's it. Rats.
Rats, yes, I'm onto some storm vermin now.
Right.
Got 10 storm vermin already primed, already based. I'm just going over some bloody mold lines.
Oh, yeah.
They're actually pretty average kits.
Were you
Respect.
were you in the live stream when I was discussing to Matty that I purchased a subscription to their latest multi-part magazine series?
No.
So they've got a multi-part magazine series running at the moment called Imperium. It's based on 40k. At the end of it,
Yeah.
you end up with a Necron army and a Marine army, basically.
Right.
The first issues of that showed up yesterday. And one of the things that was in it was, you know how they had a mold line scraper
Yeah.
with a handle on it?
Yep.
So,
So you got one of those?
well, they send you one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. So this is the one that I got ages and ages and ages ago, which is actually very useful, provided you've got enough room to get the tip in. It's actually really quite good.
Oh, right.
You can see the blade goes the entire length of the handle, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's a fair thing.
Yep.
So they ship you a tool set, and in the tool set is this, which is just a mini version. So it's exactly the same profile and all that kind of stuff. It's cut
Oh,
right
yeah.
down.
Yep. They just cut the other half of it off, and they've got the
Basically,
first screw hole pretty much.
basically, it's just the first screw hole. So I don't know whether they've changed the design of these just to go down to, you know,
Yep.
a shorter blade or something like that. But
No, they probably just made a cheap one for the
yeah,
mag, and they probably
possibly.
sell that one as a.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you got
Interesting.
that. You got a pair of cutters, and they're cheap cutters. But what do you expect? They're just, I mean, they're giving it away effectively. Well, they're not really. It's all been factored into the cost effective.
Cost. Yeah.
What I found really interesting in these is if you look at the expensive Citadel ones, the blade profile's very similar on the jaws.
Yeah. Right. Look at those ones.
So
Yeah.
they're actually probably going to be effective because they're not bad. The worst part about these is the springs break in them.
Which ones?
These the
Oh yeah.
expensive ones.
Yeah. I have a really expensive pair as well.
I went to these, which are the
Yeah.
Zerons. They're $10 or $11 each instead of $30 each, and they're just as good. They cut just as cleanly. And yeah, and a starter paintbrush and a couple of paints. So
There you go.
it's another one of those things where you've got a loss leader though, right? You've got the first few magazines are really, really, really good value, suck people in, and then you redress the value balance over the course of the rest of the magazine run.
Yeah.
Matty was lamenting the fact that he had one of those subscriptions and they never finished it. So, but we're a long way behind. Imperium's been out in the UK for more than a year, so
Oh. Wow.
they're up to issue 58 or something.
Far out.
And it's an 80 issue run, right? Which is what, 18 months.
Wow. Far out, man.
And it's weird when you get the subscription, they don't send it to you every week. They send you 4 issues a month. So they bill you the whole month and send you the 4 issues for the month in one go.
Yep.
So that's probably just a cutback on postage costs.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Just another stack of miniatures coming. into the house.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Necron and Marines.
Necrons and Marines. And that's just to deflect me from the tower I haven't
Painted.
painted. The tower I haven't assembled. The Impy
Yeah.
Guard I haven't assembled. The Impy Guard I haven't painted.
Well,
The Tyranids I haven't painted. All the Tyranids are assembled though. They're just not finished.
yeah, man. I don't even want to think how much shit I've got there too.
On the plus side, we're not that far from Nidvember. Because I missed last year's completely.
Yeah, Nidvember, huh?
Hmm.
Maybe I could paint a Nid up. I've got a couple there.
Just one.
Yeah, I reckon I could do two. I've got two of those Forge World Venom Thropes, I think.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I've got
Put it back.
a Tervagon and
Down.
oh no, not a Tervagon. I've got a Trigon.
No.
Which child
Yep.
is stealing what?
Rachel was cleaning the fly screens yesterday, and one fell over on the deck, and they picked it up and started to play with it. And I'm like, no,
Oh yeah,
not a
no,
fucking toy.
don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah.
End up full of holes.
Yeah, we just had all the rest of them replaced, so I don't really want any holes in any others now.
No.
Looking forward to a fully clad house for summer this time.
Right, so that you can have all the windows open and not have it full of bugs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Windows and doors open.
Oh, you've got door screens as well.
Yeah, some of them had 1 out of 3 doors was okay, the rest weren't.
Yeah, right. It's such an advantage being able to have the doors open as well as the windows.
Yeah.
It's one thing Joe did when we were in Emerald. She had a couple of the main doorways fly screened.
Oh, yep.
So you could have the whole house open, breeze going through the whole place. It was great.
Actually, that's right. All of ours, 1 out of 4. 2 out of 4. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
have 4 doors and they've all got fly screens, which
Yeah.
is mandatory up here.
Right.
You know, you got to have fly screens, you got to be able to open your doors.
Yep. I did a bunch of fly screen replacement while I was up there. We had the dogs jumping on the windows. So the postie used to come to the front door. Dogs used to jump on the windows and they used to tear the fly screens.
Yep.
So we replaced them with some heavy duty aluminium. So I got to do that job. Good fun.
These rats are looking good.
I was going to say, how long before you have to repaint those 20 that I gave you?
No, man, I'm not going to repaint them. I am going to rebase them
Yeah, right.
onto square bases.
Yeah.
And so I might need to touch them up when I do that business.
That box they came with round bases, I think.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
Age of Sigma stuff does now.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah. And I think they allow you to use your old square bases in Age of Sigma. They don't care. But they only sell round bases.
Yeah. Well, the old world should be coming out, shouldn't it? This year
I've
or
heard a
next?
few rumours, yeah. I haven't. No one has seen anything concrete,
Right.
rumour-wise, but I've seen a few people talking about it. So, which is good. I picked up a whole bunch of old 4th, 5th, 6th edition books.
Oh, cool.
Just finished rereading the 5th edition book. rules.
The rule book, yeah.
Yeah.
Who wrote that? Is that a Priestley thing?
Briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely closed out the book. I don't know if he was the sole author or if he was a combo author. No, it's him. Just him.
Just him, yeah.
Oh. So back in 5th edition, the lizard men, or lizard men by that stage, so they weren't even Slan then. They'd already changed over. 4th edition, I think they were Slan.
Mm-hmm.
The lizard men are done by Alan Perry,
Right.
and the Bretonian models were done by Michael Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Great photos in this book.
Yeah.
Old 5th edition book.
When did they become Seraphon?
In Age of Sigmar.
Oh, right.
They were lizard men, as far as I'm aware, all through the
Fantasy Battles.
7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have them? I think I even have one of their army books. Lizard men, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's 6th edition. Yeah. 2003, so yeah, 6th edition.
It's so nearly 20 years ago.
Yeah, 19 years ago.
10 years ago.
And the 5th edition book is 96, so it's 25 or so.
They must have blown through the first 4 editions really fast then.
Yep, so 4th edition was like 92 or 93.
Mm.
And that's when we started playing it, was 4th edition. And 3rd edition was like 89 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know when the other ones were, when it was first created.
Well, it was first created at the end of the 70s, wasn't it?
I don't know. So yeah, so really 3rd, 4th and 5th edition were quite close.
Mm. And then 5th lived a fair while.
5th lived a fair while. And then 6th was 2003, I think. Seventh and 8th didn't come out that long after 6, actually.
Yeah.
Because none of the books are that old. Like, I'm that young, I mean. They don't go past about 2010, I don't think.
Right.
I've got 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th versions of the rules. The 8th is a beautiful book.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. They obviously already knew at that stage that that was the last one.
Right.
They made a really nice book out of it.
Yeah. I suppose by that time you've got the accumulated weight of the entire product that you can choose the absolute best of everything that's come before. Because, there's 30 years of history in the game by that point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they had a lot of expertise writing it. They had a large product behind, so they can obviously spend the time to make a really nice book.
Yeah. It's a much bigger company by then, too.
Yeah. But even, like I said, the 5th edition book is pretty good. It's full colour.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I had the mic out to the side. Yeah, the 5th edition book is nice still. It's full colour, lots of great photos. And it's only a thin little one. It was one of the box set ones, Before that,
Yeah.
I don't remember in 4th and 5th of them doing just the rules separately. I think they kind of relaunched the game each time, so you had the box set plus the rules.
Yeah.
And I didn't think you could buy the rules separately back then, but maybe you could.
I don't remember.
Well, you couldn't for 40k, as far as I'm aware. You had to buy the box set.
The box set gave you the A5 rules.
No, in
Well, 4th you could certainly
second
buy.
edition or 4th edition, whatever it was, where you had Dark Millennium. In those old boxes, you used to get A4 books.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that was the only copy of the rules, was the A4
Right.
paperback.
Yeah.
You couldn't get hardcover and you couldn't get standalone.
So when I got onto 40k, it was 4th edition, and that was the Battle of McCrag box that had the Nids versus the Ultramarines, and that had an A5 in it, and you could buy the A4 separately.
Yes, I have the 4th edition rules in hardback.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it must have been 2nd edition
Yeah.
of the rules. You couldn't get it outside the box set, as
Yeah.
far as I'm aware.
Right.
And that was Marines versus Orcs. Those.
Oh
the
yeah.
classic,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
with the Gretchen and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that you used to get A4 rule books in them.
Yeah.
At that stage.
But as you say, there would have been soft covers.
Yeah, soft covers and not huge amounts of fluff.
Nope.
They were really minimum.
They weren't real big books, and yet 4th was a substantial book, I think.
Yeah,
From memory.
it is. Yeah.
I think I've got a copy of it here because I really enjoyed 4th.
Yeah.
Well, as a Tyranid player, why wouldn't I? Back when rending was the thing.
Warhammer 40k, which one? So, I think this is 4th edition. What's the... Be right.
Alright.
2008. So, I don't know.
No, that's 5th.
5th edition. Which I bought brand new in Camberwell.
Right. Which shop was that?
Games Workshop shop.
Mm.
They had one there and I was working there at the time. Needed a new set of rules.
You were working in Camberwell.
Yeah.
So I've got hardcover 4th. Yeah, see, this one's copyright 2004.
Yeah, okay, yes, I got this.
So that's what the cover looks like. Actually, I'll hold it up to the other camera.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a big tome. Like,
Yeah, yep.
it's...
Yeah, mine's different from that one.
Yeah, they nerfed rending in 5th. So this is 270 odd pages. That one. It's falling apart. The
Yeah, well, mine is too a little bit.
The spine's coming away. This has been sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
In fourth, rending was on the to-hit roll. In fifth, rending was on the wound roll.
Yeah.
Then I've got Tyranids, Eldar, Space Marines, and Necrons for that edition. And Tau, by the look of it. A hardcover Tau. Good grief.
Hardcover Tau.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I've
this
still
is
got my
much newer.
original. I've got my original Elder and Tyranid codexes from second edition.
Yeah. No, this has got to be much newer. The artwork in it says that it's much newer. Where's the copyright date?
Yeah, there you go. Elder 1994.
Yeah,
Tyranid.
that's a 2015 one, so that's very new.
1993 for the Tyranid.
Oh wow, that's got to have those really old.
Yeah, the plastic warriors.
No, even before that, that's got to have the metal.
It's
the
got
metal
plastic Tyranid
warriors.
warriors.
Oh,
No, it's got the really old plastic Tyranid warriors from Space, not Space Crusade. What was that other game?
Hulk, Space Hulk.
Maybe it was Space Crusade.
Oh
It was
yeah,
Space
yes.
Crusade that had the Tyranid warriors in it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Those really strange ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got those in it. Plus, it's got the metal lictor, the Carnifex, the old Hive Tyrants, the old metal gargoyles, all that stuff.
So I've got a 2017 rule book, which I think is 8th. And then I've got the 9th core book.
Yeah, right.
The 9th was the complete rewrite.
Oh, really? Of
Or was
40k?
Or was it 8th? It was 8th the complete rewrite, and 9th was correcting it. Oh, that might be 7th and 8th, because I think the current. Oh, I've lost track. But I've got the big core book. This is like a 300-page book.
Wow.
More 350-page book or something. It's ridiculously big.
Yeah, but is that like the Age?
370-page book. Yeah.
Is that like the Age of Sigma one, where it's 300 pages and it's like 5 pages of rules? And
Yeah, I think it's only 2 pages of rules.
yeah, exactly. And then the rest is just excruciating.
Yeah, fluff. And I mean, there's some gorgeous artwork in there, but there's just reams and reams and reams of fluff. So I'm going to call it here. So we've got red, grey, and black done on them. So flesh for faces and hands, brown for rifle, gunmetal for rifle. I'm going to do stripes on these pants to differentiate them from the other unit.
Yeah.
And then a wash, then the white. So,
Nice.
and gold. So still have to do the gold on the helmets. Actually, gold on the helmets before the wash.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go and dig some. Well, fill in a ditch and do some more digging. Thanks for coming along.
Excellent work.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I'll catch up with you on Monday.
On Monday. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, you two have a good one.
Thanks. See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.